Public transportation. These words definitely have a different connotation depending on what part of the world you currently live in. While universally providing an escape from the stresses, expenses, and risks of car travel, one substitutes sometimes for unpredictable schedules, lessened sanitation, and an overall lack of comfortability. As San Diego continues to quickly grow, so do the demands for a better, more interconnected public transportation system in the county. At the forefront of these changes, sustainability is a large factor concerning SANDAG, and this new transit must comply with the ideas stated in the San Diego Climate Action Plan. These ideas consist of lessening carbon emissions by up to 50% and for all energy used within the city to be generated from completely renewable sources. With differing terrain levels, many areas of water, and a lack of space within the existing infrastructure, the concept of a gondola system is emerging. Recent increase in fare charges, daily passes are at $6, which is one of the most expensive in the country and the world for metro ticket prices for that matter. With a round-trip ticket in Paris costing around $4, $5 in Tokyo to go a span of 200 miles, and $4.50 in Manhattan, there is no reason San Diego commuters should pay more for way less accessibility than these other metros provide. Countries like Chile have recently held riots over the price of metro tickets, while we have stayed completely silent about the situation over here. One would think many would be up in arms over this, but seeing as a whopping 3% of all San Diego commuters take the trolley, it becomes apparent why not much has been brought up. Now, the system here wasn't always this bad. A closer look at the past shows San Diego used to be at the forefront of public transportation movement, with the development of the nation's first light rail system in 1981. The line extending to the border became the most highly trafficked in the country for a few years. As society progressed, advancements were not made to the trolley, leading to San Diego taking the 24th out of the 25th spot for the largest cities in the country with the lowest ridership of public transportation, and the worst public transit in the major cities in California. The gondola lines would work in conjunction with the existing trolley and bus routes to help speed up the commuting process with less wait times while also rendering more areas of the city accessible by means other than a car. These lines would connect the beaches from Coronado to La Jolla, stopping through the airport, connect Balboa Park to the stations downtown, connect SDSU to inaccessible parts of Northeast County, connect the border to Southeast San Diego, and connect Claremont and Kearny Mesa to South San Diego.
I think that they're very different in how people can use them and where they can be implemented. I don't think one has more benefits than the other. I think it's how the people need to use transportation and how it can fit into their lifestyle and the places that they live. I think if you have a trolley, that's going to take a lot more land space as opposed to a gondola system, which has a smaller footprint and can be implemented in a lot more areas. You can, there's seats available. There's full, completely, standard seats that are always that way. And then there are seats that fold up so that if you do need to pull on your bike or for a wheelchair, to make room for a wheelchair, or if you want to bring your surfboard to the beach, then you can make more space. Or if you need more seats, if you're not going from one stop to the next and you want to sit down for a few stops, then that's available as well. So I think it's a pretty easy system to use and pretty accessible for the riders of all types. I think the gondola themselves, the cabs themselves, can range anywhere from the smaller ones that people think about on the ski slopes to larger transportation sizes that fit 30 to 50 people. The one I've designed for this system fits 30 people, and it has multiple ways of use. So there's standard seats that you can sit in and be comfortable for longer trips. There's places where you can stand and hold onto the pole or the rail if you have a shorter trip. And then there's mobile seats, so seats that can fold down or fold up depending on if you need to make room for ADA use or for bike or surfboard storage or any other large items, or for just larger parties that don't want to sit.
Factors such as seat configuration and handrail placement play significant roles in public draw to want to take public transportation. Gondolas provide an inherently more personal connection in public transportation by dispersing more riders out in larger amounts of vehicles, mitigating the amount of time spent pushed up against that man that smells really bad, and allowing more time for a serene, calming journey. Gondolas can help lessen the stigma around public transportation and make peace, beauty, and fun synonymous with the journey instead of the current, mostly negative words that come to mind.
A survey was conducted in order to understand the public's opinion about public transit. According to the survey we did of 40 individuals, 66% of those surveyed do not like the current trolley fare. 76% of those surveyed would be interested in taking a gondola if it lessened their commute time. 43% are willing to pay $1 to $3. 25% are willing to pay $3 to $4. 17% are willing to pay more than $4. 74% of those surveyed do not like the current trolley experience. The majority of those surveyed take the trolley once a week. 33% of those surveyed take it multiple times a week, and 23% of those surveyed take it every day. Surprisingly, 62% of those surveyed have never taken a gondola before. Based on the public's input, these results indicate the need for a better transit system in San Diego.
There's two types of options when it comes to transporting the public. The first option is a more traditional method of transportation, which is sitting. Implementing the sitting method does lower the amount of people that can be transported at a time. However, it does benefit the riders because their attention will be focused on the beautiful views of the city. What about people who are handicapped? Good question. Well, ADA handicap accessibility is not an issue because seats will be retractable, so all accommodations can be given. The second option is the standing method, which increases the amount of people being transported at a time, but it does come with a drawback. Another good question. Are cable cars going to have air conditioning? The answer is no. That might scare some people, but that's not an issue because the movement of the cable car, propelling it forward, will create natural ventilation that will flow and circulate the car. Like mentioned in the beginning of the video, San Diego is looking for change, and the gondola system can help get more people off the road and into a more eco-friendly transportation method. It's not an easy task, but by bringing more awareness to the public, we can start paving the road for a better San Diego.